Last summer we became parents, so we wanted to talk about how do we manage living here off-grid with a baby. Did you have any concerns, Klaus, before he was born about our life here on the island?
I think my biggest concern was that if our house is warm enough.
In the winter?
Yeah.
Ah.
And we have wood heating, so the concern was that it's too cold on the floor, but I think it's safe to say now that it's warm enough.
Yeah, it has been really warm, sometimes even plus 25.
Yeah.
So my biggest concern was how we're gonna deal with washing him. Because you know, sometimes it happens many times a day that he poos. And since we don't have running water, I was stressing out about that a bit when I was pregnant. But we figured out a really nice way.
In the day one with the first poo, we figured out
We
a
had
way.
to figure out how to do it.
We have walking water now.
Walking.
Did you find the time when the ice was weak challenging with the baby? I think that's one of the common questions people get.
Well, not really, but the length of the period surprised me.
It was like 3-4 weeks
Yeah.
this year. I was a little bit concerned that if he gets sick during that time and we're not unable to leave, and maybe if we didn't have the society around us who can come here and pick us up at any time in a real emergency, I'd probably consider staying on the mainland that time because of the baby. I'm not too worried about myself, but when you have an infant, it was more concerning. I thought about it more. In some things, having this society is a good thing.
Yeah.
We don't deny that. But after all, I just thought that this is our home, this is where we live. We have chosen this. We do have like all the basic medicine for the baby. So we're kind of prepared for everything typical.
So how we move around with the baby. When he was born, it was a summertime, so we were coming back home and leaving home with a boat, of course. Or we have a life jacket for him.
And in winter time we just pull him in the sled. We can put the car safety seat on the sled, which has been quite easy and convenient. It's like less than 5 minutes walking from the parking spot. So the logistics with the baby, it hasn't been that difficult. We always carry all the water and groceries here anyways. So just having a baby there doesn't really change that much. We do have a little bit more stuff in the sled, like the baby bag and the baby himself. But other than that, the logistics, it's not too difficult. I'm kind of used to it.
Yeah.
After 10 years, you're kind of used to. You don't really think about it anymore. It's just a way to get home.
So we heat up the sauna about twice a week, where we can wash ourselves and our son. So naturally, when we heat up the sauna, we also have warm water. We bathe him in the bathtub. We put the bathtub in the lower levels in sauna, so it's not too hot for him. And he doesn't stay in the sauna for long. It's really short. For us, it's really important that we can feed our son high quality and clean food. And when we grow the food ourselves, we can be sure that we know how the land has been fertilized and where the food comes from, which is nice. Of course, we don't grow and forage all the food we eat, but still a big part of it. it's nice to feed, for example, fish. If we catch some, to feed him with fresh and local fish, for example. An important part of this lifestyle is that our son can grow up in this natural environment, putting his hands in the soil and, exploring the nature. We were wondering how the maternity care will react to us having a child when we live on an island in these kind of conditions. And to be honest, they were asking a lot of questions. They were a bit skeptic how we're gonna do we really want to live here with a baby, and asking a lot of questions how we deal with things. But in the end, I think they have shown quite a bit of interest in our lifestyle in the end. And this is a way people have been living not too long ago, actually, heating the houses with wood and running water. So there's nothing new to it. It's how things have been in the past. And yeah, we are living here by choice. We enjoy living like this, and we want to show our children that this is a way you can choose to live and enjoy it.
I think that one of the things that the doctor at the paternal care said, that the child only needs warmth and love and milk in the beginning, that he don't need much, and that's true.
This entrance room is where our baby takes his naps mostly. This entrance room also works as our fridge, so it's a bit above 0 degrees here. Babies can also take their naps outside, even in winter. It's really common in Finland.
Napping here.
And our son has also been sleeping outdoors, but now recently it's been really, really cold outside, so we decided to put him sleep here. We don't need to worry that much. Is he feeling warm enough? And we don't need to dress him also that much.
So when we live with a small baby, it's my duty as a father to keep the house a little bit warmer than usual. When I'm alone, I don't heat that much. I only heat the downstairs and might sleep on the sofa, so I don't have to heat up the upstairs. But now when we have a small baby, there's 3 of us, we need the upstairs more, and it needs to be warmer than usually. So one thing that the baby has affected quite a bit is the amount of heating needed. We keep the downstairs as well a little bit warmer. We try to have the temperatures above 20 all the time, so it would be more comfortable for the baby to crawl on the floors and so on. Even when it's around 0 outside, we might heat up the upstairs a little bit to get it from like 19 to 20, 22, 23 in the evenings. So the firewood usage is quite obvious, that we use a bit more with the baby, but not too much. It's 3 of us now, so it's totally fine to use a little bit more. This box I will bring upstairs. Upstairs we burn this smaller wood. So one thing that the baby changes is the need for space. When I was alone, I was happy to live in the tiny house, but I did acknowledge that if I get a partner and we get a baby, it's not gonna be enough. And now we are in this situation that he's going to need his own room at some point, in maybe in some 3, 4, 5 years. and that's one of the big changes that he's gonna bring here. So I have to expand the house, and I already have started to think about it. We're gonna need more space. Pretty common question what we have gotten is that if we are scared to live so close to water with a small child, because there's a drowning risk, of course. And I've been thinking it quite a bit, but my neighbor said that he used to live by this big river in northern Finland, and all the people who drowned came from the dry land. So they weren't used to the water, and they didn't have the understanding to be scared of it. Of course, a strong river is a lot more dangerous. If you fall on it, it's gonna take you on. And we live here on this lake. The water level on our shorelines, the shores are not like deep like this. They're quite shallow.
We got a question on Instagram about how do we get anything done when we have a small baby. Don't we just want to look at him and cuddle with him? And it is true, it's really hard to get things done. Luckily it's winter time and we don't have that much things to get done. But yeah, it has been, especially the first weeks, we were just pretty much laying in the bed and wondering how this beautiful little human being has entered our lives. And let's see how the spring and summer will be like, since we have the vegetable garden that has to be or needs attention. We need to get things done there. And I think he will be already a little helper by then. If you have any questions about our life here with baby, or any other questions, you can leave a comment below.
With her, we haven't had any problems. She's a nice dog.
One time our son even pulled her from the tail when she was eating her food. So she lets him do anything. She's fine with anything.
At first, she a little bit avoided him, but then she started to go near our son by herself. Now she's enjoying.
They became friends.
And the best thing about this lifestyle is that I'm able to be home all the time with my family and be present for our son, to see the early years from really close. It's not just special occasions, but it's every day.
And see how he's developing. We had to lift the water buckets up from the floor because our son is rolling on the floor and he's interested on everything, so that he doesn't spill the water everywhere.
He wants to take shower.
So I'm making wet wipes for our baby. I put a bit of coconut oil, water that has been boiled, and then I just add these napkins, tissues into the jar.
That's it.
Here are the old ones. They last about a week and there's only maybe one left, so I made new ones.
And this is our baby care station.
Yeah.
We have all his clothes.
It's where we change our baby's diapers. We we can fold the table to have more space here because our home is pretty small. So this is useful. And here we have cloth diapers and all the necessary things here. So when we need to wash our baby's butt, we just take warm water from here and mix it to the right temperature. And we put this. Yeah. So it's easy to do the washing. Doing laundry in the off-grid circumstances has been always much more work for me. And I was a bit worried how we're gonna deal with the amount of laundry we're gonna have after having a baby. But it's been going well. I do small amounts of laundry here, wash them by hand. When we have bigger amounts of laundry, we have this pulsator machine for that. When our baby was really small, he was sleeping a lot, so it was easier to find time to do these kinds of tasks.
And this has been the hardest thing in parenthood for me. Oh. Oi. This is what we call TV. We like to watch TV in the morning. Sometimes we let Johanna sleep a little bit more and come here downstairs and put the TV on. Mitä rakas? Älä kato sitä, se on siinä.